This is one story that I will never forget. While working with homeless youth, I worked side by side with a woman who was always positive and always smiling. She took public transportation to and from work, as well as to pick up her young son from daycare. I tried as often as I could to give her a ride, especially when the weather was bad. I enjoyed the ride as much as she enjoyed the convenience. Nancy was so positive and so bright. It wasn't for many years when I reflected back on those car rides that I realized for the hours and hours we talked, she never told me much. This was one of my first social service jobs, and like many of my coworkers, this was a first step for us, and most of us moved on to other positions and other agencies. We would host reunions every few months, then every few years. With demanding and ever-changing schedules, we all tried to make all the get-togethers, and we all missed one here or there. Nancy never made one. Several years later, I was at my desk at the police department reading a domestic homicide case report. The story was terrible. The victim suffered a terrible death witnessed by her young son. The family provided background information which gave a long history of domestic violence. I flipped the page and looked for the victim's name. There it was. It was Nancy. I looked at it over and over again. To this day, Nancy's story haunts me. I sat next to her. I provided endless car rides for her and her son. She knew my background and expertise in domestic violence. There are countless opportunities for me to see. She never told me much. She didn't attend social activities, as well as private opportunities for her to reach out. But that never happened. While I am wise enough to know that she had her reasons, and I can't fault myself for not recognizing the signs, I can't help but wonder, what if? I can only move forward with the hope of never again. Take a moment and think about the Nancys in your life. Each one of you can be part of the answer. I have witnessed how I can personally make a difference, and I believe you can too. As a community, we can work toward the solution to diminish domestic violence. We are all accountable for being part of this solution.